Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English Daily Book Summary YouTube channel. In order to not stop learning, listen to an English book summary every day for free.
Mara Glatzel, Needy, How to Advocate for Your Needs and Claim Your Sovereignty. For years you've heard the message, don't be too loud, too emotional, too demanding, too needy. So you've tucked away your desires, shrunk your voice, and carefully monitored your needs to avoid becoming that person everyone avoids. This self-containment strategy might have earned you approval, but at what cost? Many people now find themselves living on the margins of their own lives, exhausted from maintaining a carefully curated version of themselves while silencing what they truly need. But what if your neediness isn't a character flaw, but a natural, essential part of being human? Behind the familiar shame of wanting more lies a radical possibility: reclaiming your right to exist fully with all your messy, inconvenient humanity intact. The journey towards self-partnership begins with recognizing that your needs matter, not because you've earned care through productivity or people-pleasing, but because you inherently deserve it. In this blink, you'll learn how safety, rest, and nourishment form the foundation of self-care, why trusting your inner voice builds authentic confidence, how sovereignty and self-love create space for growth, and why celebrating everyday moments validates your inherent worthiness. Let's get started. Safety begins with self-trust. Most people believe safety is about external conditions, locked doors, financial security, or absence of conflict. But the deepest form of safety comes from a surprising source: your relationship with yourself and the unwavering commitment to remain by your own side regardless of circumstances. Safety represents the most fundamental human need, serving as the energetic foundation for everything else. When you feel unsafe, your bandwidth for creativity, connection, and self-expression diminishes dramatically. This isn't just about physical protection. It's about creating emotional security through how you relate to yourself. Many people undermine their safety without realizing it. They speak harshly to themselves when they make mistakes, prioritize external validation over internal wisdom, or abandon their needs to maintain relationships. Each instance of self-abandonment sends a powerful message: you can't count on yourself when things get difficult. Building genuine safety requires taking radical responsibility for your well-being. This doesn't mean having everything figured out first. It simply means committing to work with rather than against yourself, particularly during moments of discomfort or uncertainty. Begin by noticing how you speak to yourself. Would you use that same tone with someone you cherish? Practice redirecting critical thoughts with the same gentle patience you'd offer a child who needs guidance. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Just focus on consistent kindness. Self-trust grows through follow-through on small promises to yourself. Each time you honor a basic need, rest when tired, drink water when thirsty, you're rebuilding trust that may have been damaged through years of self-neglect. When uncomfortable feelings arise, resist pushing through them. Instead, pause to identify what might support you in that moment. This practice of sitting with discomfort while caring for yourself creates an internal safety that no external circumstance can provide. The path to empowerment begins with this fundamental understanding: you can be your own safe harbor. Rest is not optional. Have you ever put off resting until everything on your list was done, only to discover that the list never ends? You've probably internalized the belief that rest must be earned through productivity rather than recognized as a fundamental need. This isn't the case. We postpone self-care by convincing ourselves there will be a better, less chaotic time to start. Meanwhile, we continue functioning on borrowed energy, unaware that this approach makes everything harder and eventually leads to burnout. This isn't because we're doing something wrong. It's because we're human in a world that often forgets humans have limits. Rest goes beyond sleep. It encompasses any activity that restores your energy rather than depleting it. What replenishes you is deeply personal. For some, rest means quiet reading. For others, it might involve taking a walk or organizing a small space. These activities aren't indulgences, They're non-negotiable aspects of sustainable living. To reclaim rest in your daily life, start by identifying what drains you. These energy leaks might be unresolved tasks, challenging conversations, or boundary issues creating subtle stress. By addressing even one small drain, you begin rebuilding your capacity. Next, transform your approach to each day. Check in with how you genuinely feel. Limit your focus to just 3 achievable tasks and establish a clear endpoint for work. Plan specifically how you'll restore your energy afterward instead of pushing until nothing remains. The key shift happens when you distribute moments of care throughout your day rather than saving them for leftover time. This creates a sustainable rhythm where rest and productivity complement rather than compete with each other. By honoring your need for restoration before reaching complete depletion, you build a relationship with yourself based on respect rather than relentless pushing, allowing you to show up more fully for everything that matters to you. Feed your real hunger, not just your immediate appetite. When was the last time you felt truly nourished? Not just fed, but deeply satisfied in a way that generated more energy than it consumed. For many, this feeling remains elusive because they've been conditioned to believe their needs must be earned, or that tending to themselves is selfish. Sustenance goes beyond basic self-care. It's about consistently feeding yourself what you're genuinely hungry for, whether that's connection, creativity, solitude, or physical nourishment. This form of care connects to your deepest sense of safety and security, reinforcing the belief that you matter enough to be cared for every day without having to earn it. Many people fall into patterns of emergency self-care, waiting until they're completely depleted before attending to their needs. This cycle creates a roller coaster of burnout and minimal recovery. Your exhaustion, emotional fragility, and resentment aren't character flaws. They're warning signs that your needs require attention. Breaking this pattern starts with identifying your early warning signals. Notice the feelings, behaviors, and physical sensations that emerge when you need care. By recognizing these signals sooner, you can respond before reaching crisis. Begin with what's actually doable. Even 5 minutes alone can serve as a powerful check-in with yourself. Ask, what am I truly hungry for right now? The answer might surprise you. Listen to your body's wisdom even when it differs from your carefully laid plans. Equally important is defining your realm of responsibility. Draw clear boundaries between what is and isn't yours to manage. You're responsible for identifying and advocating for your needs, but not for controlling how others respond. Remember that meaningful sustenance accumulates through small, consistent choices. Like collecting pennies in a jar, these moments stack up over time. You don't need grand gestures or perfect conditions to feel satisfied. Just the courage to turn toward yourself with kindness, one small moment at a time. Trust begins by honoring your inner voice. How many of us live in fear that if we showed up as our authentic selves, the people we care about might abandon us? This fear keeps countless people confined to small, uncomfortable boxes of their own making, exhausted from maintaining a carefully curated version of themselves while silencing their true desires and needs. Trust in yourself erodes through both dramatic breaches and nearly invisible daily experiences. A basketball coach who demands you override your instincts, a parent who never asks what you think or feel, or societal messages that your worth depends on productivity. These experiences teach you that your internal wisdom is unreliable. Over time, this conditioning becomes so familiar that external validation feels safer than your own judgment. Rebuilding self-trust starts with a simple but powerful question. What's true for me today? Not what your partner, mother, or society expects. Just you. This practice reconnects you with your authentic preferences and helps distinguish your voice from others. Even something as seemingly trivial as determining which socks you genuinely like creates a foundation for trusting yourself in bigger decisions. How you speak to yourself when things go wrong matters enormously. When you miss a self-care goal, do you launch into harsh criticism, or do you approach yourself with curiosity? What got in the way? What could I try differently next time? This supportive internal dialogue builds trust far more effectively than perfection ever could. Start with small, manageable acts. trust yourself to make one decision without seeking others' opinions. Allow yourself 5 minutes of genuine self-care. Notice when your inner critic speaks in someone else's voice and gently question its authority. Remember that you don't need to know everything to begin trusting yourself. You already know something, and that's enough to start. Each time you honor your truth, however small, you weave together a stronger relationship with yourself, creating space for your full humanity to exist without apology. Alignment with your values creates sustainable energy. Sometimes the hardest truth to face is that the life you've carefully built doesn't actually align with what matters most to you. Many people pursue careers, relationships, and lifestyles that earn external validation while ignoring an inner voice whispering that something feels wrong. This disconnect between your actions and your true values creates a profound state of misalignment. Integrity means more than just honesty with others. It's about being honest with yourself first. It requires knowing your values, recognizing your capacity limits, and using your resources purposefully. When you're out of alignment, everything feels unnecessarily difficult. You might blame yourself for lack of progress when the real issue is that you're spreading your energy across too many competing priorities. To realign with your values, start by clarifying what truly matters to you. Make a list of everything you want to create or accomplish, then challenge each item. Do I genuinely want this, or do I think I should want it? Circle your top 3 priorities, then commit to just one. Break this priority into small, manageable steps you can complete in 20 to 30-minute sessions, and schedule them into your week. Equally important is recognizing when you're collecting other people's hot potatoes, emotional burdens or responsibilities that aren't yours to carry. Visualize a boundary like a ring of light around yourself. Inside this boundary are your thoughts, feelings, and responsibilities. Outside are everyone else's. Practice noticing when you automatically pick up others' problems and remind yourself that declining isn't selfish. It's essential for sustainability. This principle applies especially during overwhelming times when social, environmental, and political urgencies compete for your attention. You can't respond effectively to everything, but you can make a meaningful difference by choosing specific commitments aligned with your values and creating sustainable systems of support. By bringing your actions into alignment with what truly matters to you, you create a foundation for authentic contribution that doesn't deplete you in the process. Unconditional self-love creates space for growth. The most generous love you can offer others often includes room for disappointment, frustration, and imperfection. You can cherish someone deeply while still acknowledging when their behavior bothers you. Yet many people never extend this same flexible, unconditional acceptance to themselves. Most of us have learned to make our self-love conditional, withdrawing it the moment we fail to meet our impossible standards. We abandon ourselves when we question our reality in favor of others, believe our desires aren't enough reason to pursue something, or reject ourselves first to avoid potential rejection. This conditional approach is based on the misconception that harsh self-criticism is necessary for growth and that self-acceptance leads to stagnation. True self-love works differently. It's about deciding to remain by your own side regardless of circumstances. This kind of love creates a foundation for growth by providing the safety needed for honest self-exploration. One practical way to build this foundation is to practice saying what you mean. Start by identifying situations causing stress or resentment, then ask yourself what you truly need. Your job is simply to communicate that need clearly, not to manage others' responses to it or preemptively compromise. Another powerful practice is creating 2 personal care menus, one for soothing during difficult times and another for bringing aliveness when you feel stuck. Include activities that engage your physical body through rest and movement, your emotional body through compassionate self-talk, and your mental state through creating headspace. Many of us fall into patterns of over-delivering to earn love, believing that if someone truly loved us, they'd anticipate our needs without us having to voice them. By releasing this expectation and practicing direct communication, we create relationships based on truth rather than mind reading. Self-love isn't something you achieve once and for all. It's a choice you make every day to honor your humanity in all its messy complexity. Joy belongs in everyday moments. Celebration is a fundamental human need that often goes unrecognized amid our more obvious requirements for safety and connection. Yet the need to mark moments of joy, progress, and appreciation is woven into our humanity. Many of us restrict celebration to culturally sanctioned milestones like birthdays and promotions, keeping joy at arm's length until we've earned it through achievement. The most meaningful celebrations often come in ordinary packaging: a partner fully engaged in conversation at lunch, or a friend's genuine enthusiasm about your creative project. Think of it as an intention you bring to everyday moments. This shift in perspective allows you to infuse regular activities with appreciation rather than postponing joy until some distant finish line. Making breakfast can become celebratory when approached with mindfulness. Even cleaning your bathroom can feel special with the right music and a candle burning. This practice directly counters perfectionism, which often sabotages our celebrations. When plans don't unfold exactly as imagined, the restaurant is closed or someone cancels, we have a choice: become rigid and disappointed, or adapt with flexibility. The ability to celebrate imperfectly builds resilience. To begin incorporating more celebration into your life, start by acknowledging what you're currently working on. Set an intention to recognize your efforts daily by writing down 3 things you value about yourself. These don't need to be achievements, they can simply be qualities you appreciate. From this foundation, create simple ways to honor yourself that align with your preferences and resources. Remember that relapse is a natural part of any growth process. When you inevitably forget to celebrate yourself, view it as valuable data for your next attempt, rather than failure. By honoring your need for celebration in ordinary moments, you validate your inherent worthiness rather than tying your joy to external validation. Celebration isn't optional, it's a necessary ingredient for a fully nourished life. The main takeaway of this Blink to Needy by Mara Glatzel is that recognizing and honoring your needs isn't selfish. It's essential for building a meaningful life. By cultivating self-trust, prioritizing rest, nourishing your deepest hungers, speaking your truth, aligning with your values, practicing unconditional self-love, and celebrating everyday moments, you reclaim your right to exist fully. You don't need to earn care through productivity or people-pleasing. Your humanity, with all its messy complexity, is worthy of attention and respect. Start with small, consistent acts of self-partnership and watch how this foundation transforms every aspect of your life. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you in the next Blink.